Let me guess. You're working harder than ever, but the money isn't multiplying. Your team isn't helping, and your calendar is full, but your spirit's drained. You're not alone. You're likely stuck in the 250K crisis. So let's talk about it. What's really happening here? What is the 250K crisis? Because I know I dropped it on you and you're like, excuse me, never heard of this before. So the thing I want you to consider is this 250K crisis is really just a plateau that I'm seeing women business owners hitting the ceiling. They're hitting an invisible ceiling, and it's a very interesting phenomenon because no one's really talking about it. But if you look at the statistics, what I can tell you is that if we know only 12% of women business owners hit the 100K mark in their business, you'd be really surprised to find out that only 6.2% of those will ever get to the 250K or beyond mark in their business. So the truth is, this is not a rare phenomenon. This is something that's really happening, and business owners are not speaking about it. So, what it looks like is their success on the outside. It looks grand. Your friends, your peers are looking at you saying, "Oh, you have a fabulous six-figure business." So, surely you're happy. But on the outside, there's exhaustion. And this is caused by your attempt to scale and grow this system that you were able to grow, getting it to six figures. You're trying to scale it the same way and grow it the same way that you did to get to this point. And the really big issue is this is all dependent on the founder's energy, meaning you, the CEO. It's not taking into consideration everyone else. It's only dependent on you as the founder. So, therefore, there's no structure. And where there's no structure, there's no growth. So, you all remember the thing back in the 80s, stop the insanity, when you keep doing the same thing over and over again and expect a different result? Here you go. Welcome to the 250K crisis, okay? And the big thing is no one's talking about it. So you have no idea. You think that you're the unicorn and this couldn't possibly be happening to anyone else. But the truth is, it's happening to many women business owners, especially. But it's in the confessions. No one's saying anything. So when we think about why no one talks about it, well, this is where things get sticky, okay? Think about what it takes to build a business and what you see online when it comes to business. It's all hustle culture. Everyone saying, if you work harder, you'll fix the problem. If you do more, you'll fix the problem. If you keep showing up, post all the time, surely it will resolve itself. Once people see you, absolutely they'll start buying from you. You put your website up, you put up 50 posts for this week, the people are going to buy. And what you found out is that wasn't true. And in many cases, it's really disheartening because everything that you thought you were doing right, you find out it's not quite the thing to do. So you go and purchase someone's course, you go and take someone's training, and guess what? The coach is going to give you a piece of the puzzle, but they're not going to give you the entire strategy. And so you stay in this loop of purchasing over and over and over again in these cookie cutter systems, and you're expecting to be able to resolve this big problem, but you're only solving a small piece of the problem because you don't have a true strategy for your specific business. So then you go down the rabbit hole. You start blaming yourself instead of the model that's out here. You're thinking, I should know this. Maybe you went to school, maybe you've been in business for many years, you've gotten to the point where you're at six figures. You're telling yourself, I should know this. And so you're beating yourself up, blaming yourself, one foot in the business, one foot out of the business, asking yourself, is this even for me? And what I need you to do is I need you to realize the model is broken. It's been broken, but no one wants to talk about it. So let's go into really may be happening. If you're taking your old way of thinking, your old way of working and functioning, and you're taking these little bits and pieces that you've been given, you'll realize there's a pattern here. One of the things you may be experiencing is what we call our six-figure bottlenecks, right? So if we're looking at those bottlenecks where you're clogging the system, it's probably one of many things. It could be a really broken or possibly a shallow team support. Who taught you how to have a team? No one. I don't care if you went to school for it. I don't care if you went to the school of business. I don't care if you took some programs. People will teach you how to make money, but people are not teaching you how to lead. You have more leadership training in the executive space, but you're not seeing the leadership training here in this entrepreneurial space. So either you have a broken team or you have a shallow or non existing team. So you're carrying everything that needs to happen in the business on your shoulders because that's all that you know how to do. But how can you possibly carry all of this and grow or expand a business if you have to be the maker of all things? So that's number one, your broken or shallow team support. Number two, you're looking at marketing that doesn't evolve with your growth. If your marketing hasn't evolved from what it was that got it to you six figures, then there's a very good chance you're using some form of your marketing is antiquated. Your audience may have grown, your ideal client may have grown, their challenges may have changed, but you've not changed. So you're continuing to spout this same conversation that no longer lands with an audience that you say that you want to work with. So if you don't change your marketing and you don't keep up with the times, the way marketing is evolving, you're going to have a bigger problem. And last but not least, you may have a sales avoidance or underpricing that's rooted in your identity. Oh, I know it hurt, right? And so what is sales avoidance? We know you have to get out here and ask for the sale. But how many times are you not asking for the sales because you don't want to bother someone? You don't want to be burdensome. You don't want to send out another email. You don't want to make that call and to follow up with the person that said they wanted your service. You're saying, oh, you know what? I'm not going to call them. I'm not going to bother them. I don't want to be that girl. But I promise you, if you look at your inbox for any major store or major brand, you're getting constant requests for you to buy something, correct? People will call you. People will reach out to you. They'll send something to remind you of who they are. So you cannot avoid the obvious. If you want to grow or scale, you must sell. Simple as that. And if you're underpricing, I understand the times are hard. I understand there's uncertainty, but I promise you, people are still buying. They are still buying. This underpricing being rooted in your identity, you're making assumptions about how much people have available to spend. You're making assumptions about what they will invest in. You may be underpricing to get the deal. You want to close the deal. And so I'm just going to go ahead and give it to them for this price. That way I can get to a yes. But now you have to hustle and work harder because you're playing nice. You want to be able to check a box to say, I closed the sale today. When in reality, you needed the full amount. So we have to do something different because the truth is the 250K crisis is real, but it doesn't have to be your permanent story. It is a blip in the journey. It happens more often than you hear, but this does not have to be your story. This is not where your journey needs to end. What you need to do is really come up and see where you are blocking yourself on this journey and then discover what are the strategies that you need so you can move forward. So I will be creating a series of conversations around this 250K crisis and going deeper into it so that I can help you to resolve this issue or potentially avoid the issue if you're not quite there yet. But one of the first things that you can do is determine your way. Determine where you're getting in the way. And you can do that with my Lux Scaling Path quiz. This is a complimentary quiz that you will see in the description below. Make sure you take the quiz and figure out where you're blocking things. Where are you the bottleneck in your business? And if you really need a new container or space where you can get the clarity and the exact next steps that you need on your journey. Every year, I host what we call the Luxe Your Business Experience. And so you can always check and see in the comments when we're hosting that next experience and see if this is a place for you as a six-figure business owner. What you don't want to do is get stuck. And again, what you don't want to do is allow this 250K crisis to be your story because it's time for your business to serve you. And I want to be a part of the journey. So, thanks again for joining me today. Don't forget to subscribe and like this channel, and I look forward to talking to you later.